If you don't like how your life feels, change how you live. You're not stuck because you're not capable. You're stuck because you keep repeating the same day with the same habits, the same excuses, and the same mindset. And deep down, you know it. You've had moments where you said, I'm done, but nothing really changed. Why? Because you didn't follow through. You didn't stay consistent. You didn't push when it got uncomfortable. This video isn't here to hype you up for a few minutes. It's here to give you a real plan to change your life in 21 days, step by step. No fluff, just action. You don't need a perfect schedule. You need to stop wasting time. You don't need more motivation. You need to stop breaking promises to yourself. If you give these 21 days everything you've got, you won't just feel different, you'll be different. And people won't believe how fast you changed. This is how you become unrecognizable. Chapter 1. The defining decision to change your life as it stands today is a mosaic of countless choices, some made with intention, others on autopilot, and many without a second thought. These choices have shaped your daily routines, your mindset, and the person you see in the mirror each morning. But deep within, there's a restless spark, a quiet voice that knows you're capable of more. It's the part of you that feels the weight of unfulfilled potential, the gap between who you are and who you could become. It's the part that wakes you up at night, wondering why you're still stuck in the same patterns, the same excuses, the same life. To bridge that gap, to transform into a version of yourself that feels powerful, purposeful, and unrecognizable, you must begin with a single, unshakable decision: to stop settling for a life that feels less than extraordinary. This decision isn't a fleeting moment of inspiration, a vague promise to do better someday, or a New Year's resolution that fades by February. It's a commitment that cuts through the fog of excuses, doubts, and distractions like a blade. It's the moment you look at your life, your habits, your time, your energy, and declare, this isn't enough anymore. It's not about shame or regret for where you are. It's about clarity and courage to move toward where you want to be. You've been living the same day on repeat, trapped in a cycle of familiar patterns, clinging to comfort zones that keep you small. You've made excuses about not having enough time, resources, or readiness, and those excuses have become the bars of your cage. But change doesn't come from hoping, waiting, or wishing for the perfect moment. It comes from choosing, right now, to rewrite your story with intention and resolve. Ask yourself the hard questions. Are you proud of how you spend your days? Do your actions reflect the person you want to become? Are you giving your best to your goals, your health, your relationships, your dreams? If the answers sting, let that discomfort be your fuel. Transformation begins when staying the same becomes more painful than the effort required to change. You don't need a perfect plan, a new app, a motivational quote, or a life-altering epiphany to start. You need to decide with every fiber of your being that today is the day you stop negotiating with mediocrity. This choice is the cornerstone of your 3-week journey, the spark that ignites everything that follows. This decision isn't about grand gestures, public declarations, or seeking approval from others. It's personal, private, and profound. It's about looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm done with this version of me. It's about refusing to let another day, another hour, another moment slip by without progress. You don't need permission from anyone else to make this choice. You don't need the stars to align, your schedule to clear, or life to slow down. You just need to commit to yourself, to your potential, to the life you know you're capable of living. This moment of resolve is where your transformation begins. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about starting with intention, about saying no to what holds you back and yes to what pushes you forward. The beauty of this decision is its immediacy. You don't have to wait for Monday, for the new month, or for some mythical right time. The right time is now, because every moment you delay is a moment you give to the old version of you, the one that's comfortable but unfulfilled, safe but stuck. When you make this choice, you'll feel a shift, not necessarily in your circumstances, but in your energy, your focus, your purpose. You'll feel the weight of possibility, the excitement of what could be. That's the foundation of becoming unrecognizable. It's not about external validation or instant results. It's about internal alignment, about choosing to live in a way that honors your potential. This is where your 3-week transformation begins, and it's the first step toward a life that feels like yours. Chapter 2. Dismantle one destructive habit. Every day, there's a habit in your life that's quietly sabotaging your progress. You know exactly what it is. You feel its weight in the moments you waste, the energy it drains, the opportunities it steals. It's not a secret, even if you've tried to pretend it's no big deal. Maybe it's the hours you lose scrolling through your phone, chasing fleeting dopamine hits that leave you empty and unfulfilled. Maybe it's procrastination, the endless cycle of saying tomorrow until days turn into weeks and weeks into years. Maybe it's the comfort food you turn to when stress hits, leaving you sluggish and regretful. Maybe it's the negative self-talk that creeps in when you're alone, whispering that you're not enough, not ready, not capable. Whatever it is, this habit isn't small or harmless. It's a daily decision to stay stuck, to stay small, to stay less than who you're meant to be. To transform in 3 weeks, pick one habit, just one, and commit to dismantling it. Don't overwhelm yourself with a long list of flaws to fix or try to overhaul your entire life at once. Focus is your greatest ally here. Choose the habit that's doing the most damage, the one you know is holding you back from your potential. If you're glued to your phone, set strict time limits. Say, no more than 30 minutes of non-essential screen time each day, and stick to them. If you procrastinate, choose one task daily and start it within 5 minutes of thinking about it, no matter how small it seems. If you're trapped in negative self-talk, write down one destructive thought each day and counter it with something grounded and constructive, like I'm learning, instead of I'm a failure. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every time you resist the old habit, you're taking back a piece of your life, reclaiming control over your time, your energy, and your future. Habits follow a predictable cycle, a trigger, an action, and a reward. To break it, you need to disrupt that cycle at its core. Start by identifying what sets the habit in motion. Is it stress that sends you to the fridge? Boredom that pulls you to your phone? A specific environment like your couch at night that cues mindless scrolling? Once you know the trigger, change it. If late night scrolling is your vice, keep your phone out of reach after 9 p.m. and replace it with a book, a journal, or a calming ritual like stretching. If stress eating is your crutch, swap it for a walk, a 5-minute meditation, or a quick workout. The new action might not feel as instantly gratifying as the old one, but it's building something deeper, a sense of pride, control, and momentum that lasts far longer than a fleeting reward. Over these 3 weeks, track your progress diligently. Keep a notebook or use an app to record each day you succeed in resisting the habit and how it feels. Note the moments you slip and what triggered them, then adjust your environment or response to avoid it next time. For example, if you find yourself reaching for your phone during a work break, leave it in another room and bring a notepad instead. If procrastination strikes when you're overwhelmed, break your tasks into smaller actionable steps and tackle just one. Reflection is key. Each evening, write down what worked, what didn't, and what you'll do differently tomorrow. This practice keeps you accountable and helps you see the progress that might otherwise feel invisible. This small shift creates a ripple effect across your life. Breaking one habit frees up energy, sharpens your focus, and builds confidence. You start to see yourself as someone who can change, someone who isn't defined by their past patterns. You'll notice small wins piling up, more productive mornings, clearer thoughts, a sense of control you didn't have before. By the end of 3 weeks, this habit will no longer own you. You'll look back and realize it's lost its grip, not because you're perfect, but because you showed up every day and chose differently. You'll feel lighter, more capable, and ready to tackle the next challenge. This is how you begin to rewrite your identity, one deliberate, consistent choice at a time. Chapter 3. Walk through the fire of fear. Fear is the silent architect of a limited life. It's not always the loud, paralyzing kind that stops you cold. It's often the quiet whisper that convinces you to play small, to stay safe, to avoid the unknown. It's the hesitation before you speak up in a meeting, the doubt that keeps you from taking a risk, the instinct to cling to what's familiar instead of chasing what could change everything. Fear shows up when you think about starting a new project, asking for a promotion, or admitting a truth to yourself or others. It's the voice that says, not yet, not you, or what if you fail? If you want to become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, you must stop running from fear and start walking through it with purpose. Take a moment to identify one thing you've been avoiding because it scares you. It could be a conversation you've been dodging. Maybe you need to set a boundary with a friend, confront a coworker, or have an honest talk with yourself about what you really want. It could be a goal you've shelved because it feels too big, like launching a side hustle, committing to a fitness journey, or pursuing a passion you've dismissed as impractical. It could be as simple as trying something new, like joining a public speaking group, signing up for a class, or reaching out to someone you admire. Write it down, look at it, then commit to doing it, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the choice to act despite it. You don't need to feel ready to take that step. Your hands might shake, your voice might waver, your heart might race, but the act of moving forward builds something inside you that no amount of preparation can. Each time you face what scares you, you weaken its hold. You teach yourself that fear is just a feeling, not a barrier. Over these 3 weeks, make it a daily practice to do one thing that pushes you out of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be monumental. Send an email you've been avoiding, ask a question in a meeting, or take a small step toward a goal you've dismissed as too hard. The key is consistency, showing up every day to challenge the voice that says you can't. Start by mapping out a plan to make this practical. Each morning, write down one action that scares you and commit to doing it before the day ends. If you're afraid of failure, remind yourself that the real failure is never trying. If you're afraid of judgment, remember that other people's opinions can't define your worth unless you let them. If you're afraid of not being good enough, know that growth comes from doing, not from being perfect. Track your progress daily in a journal or app. Note what you did, how it felt, and what you learned. Did your heart race before you spoke up? Did you feel a rush of relief after? Did you surprise yourself with what you're capable of? These reflections help you see your growth and build momentum. Over time, these small acts of courage compound. You'll start to notice a shift in how you carry yourself. Your shoulders straighter, your voice steadier, your decisions sharper. You'll feel a new kind of confidence, not because fear is gone. It never fully disappears, but because you've proven you can act in spite of it. By the end of 3 weeks, fear won't control you anymore. You'll have built a habit of moving through discomfort, of choosing growth over safety. You'll walk with a new kind of strength, one that comes from knowing you can face what once held you back. That's when you start to feel like someone new, someone who doesn't let discomfort dictate their future, someone who's ready to take on bigger challenges and live a bolder life. Chapter 4. Rewrite your inner narrative. Your mind is a battlefield, and the words you speak to yourself when no one's around are the weapons that shape the outcome. Too often, your inner voice is your harshest critic, whispering doubts, replaying failures, and convincing you you're not enough. I'm not ready, you tell yourself. I always mess things up. What if I fail again? These thoughts aren't just passing ideas. They're scripts you've memorized, and they're writing your life whether you realize it or not. They're the invisible chains that keep you stuck, undermining your efforts before you even begin. If you want to transform in 3 weeks, you must rewrite this narrative, turning your inner voice from an enemy into an ally that lifts you up instead of tearing you down. This isn't about fake positivity or reciting empty affirmations in the mirror. It's about speaking to yourself with honesty, respect, and purpose. Start by catching the negative thoughts as they arise. When you think, I can't do this, pause and replace it with, this is hard, but I'm learning. When you think, I'm a failure, counter it with, I've made mistakes, but I'm still moving forward. These small shifts in language create a new mindset, one that supports growth instead of sabotage. Imagine if a friend spoke to you the way you speak to yourself. Would you tolerate it? Would you let someone call you stupid, incapable, or doomed to fail? If not, why allow it in your own mind? Treat yourself like someone you're rooting for, someone you believe in, someone who deserves encouragement, not criticism. Over these 3 weeks, make this a daily practice. Each morning, set aside 5 minutes to write down one negative thought you've noticed in the past 24 hours and replace it with a constructive alternative. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I'll never get this right, write, I'm improving with every step I take. At the end of the day, reflect on how this shift affected your actions. Did you feel more confident to take a risk? Did you push through a challenge instead of giving up? Did you notice a moment where you spoke to yourself with kindness instead of judgment? This practice builds a mental foundation that's stronger, clearer, and more resilient. It's not about pretending you're perfect. It's about creating a mental space where growth is possible, where you believe in your ability to change. Your inner narrative shapes your actions in profound ways. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, you'll hesitate, procrastinate, or give up when things get hard. But if you tell yourself you're capable, you'll take risks, push through challenges, and keep going even when the path is uncertain. This shift in self-talk isn't just about feeling better. It's about acting better. It's about building a mindset that supports your goals instead of undermining them. Over time, this new way of speaking to yourself becomes second nature. You'll start to believe in your ability to change, to grow, to succeed. Not because you're delusional, but because you're proving it to yourself every day. By the end of 3 weeks, your inner voice will sound more like a coach than a critic. You'll notice moments where you catch a negative thought and redirect it without effort. You'll feel a shift, not just in your thoughts, but in how you move through the world. You'll carry yourself with more clarity, more purpose, more confidence, knowing that you're building a mindset that can carry you anywhere. This is where transformation takes root, not in external achievements, but in the quiet moments when you choose to speak to yourself with respect, with belief, with power. Chapter 5. Master the art of saying no. Saying yes to everything is a trap that drains your energy, steals your time, and fills your life with obligations that don't serve you. You've been conditioned to think that saying no is selfish, weak, or unkind, that it means letting people down or being unhelpful. But the truth is the opposite. Saying no is a declaration of self-respect, a commitment to your priorities over other people's expectations. It's a recognition that your time, your energy, and your focus are finite, and you have the right to protect them. If you want to become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, you must learn to say no without guilt or hesitation, reclaiming control over your life one boundary at a time. Start by recognizing the cost of every yes. Every time you agree to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're giving away a piece of your life, your time to work on what matters, your energy to pursue your dreams, your focus to build the future you want. Over these 3 weeks, practice saying no in situations that feel manageable. Decline an invitation to an event that doesn't excite you or serve your purpose. Set boundaries with someone who constantly demands your attention, whether it's a friend, a coworker, or even a family member. Say, I can't commit to that right now, or I need to focus on my priorities. You don't need to be harsh, confrontational, or rude, just clear, firm, and honest. The key is to say it with conviction, without over-explaining or apologizing. This practice feels uncomfortable at first. Guilt may creep in, especially if you're used to people-pleasing or putting others' needs above your own. Others may push back, question your choices, or try to make you feel selfish. But that discomfort is a sign you're breaking an old pattern, unlearning the habit of living for everyone else's approval. Each time you say no, you create space for what matters, your goals, your rest, your growth. You stop living reactively, bending to every request, and start living intentionally, choosing what aligns with the life you're building. Track your progress over these 3 weeks. Each time you say no, write down the situation, how it felt, and what it freed you up to do. Did you have more time to work on a project? Did you feel less stressed, less scattered? Did you gain clarity about what you truly value? These reflections help you see the power of boundaries, the freedom that comes from protecting your energy. By the end of this period, you'll notice a shift. Your days will feel less cluttered, your mind less weighed down by obligations that don't serve you. You'll have more energy for what truly matters because you've stopped giving it away to what doesn't. Saying no isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's saying, I respect you, but I also respect myself. It's saying I care, but I have limits. It's saying I want to help, but not at the cost of my own peace. That clarity, that strength, is what makes you unrecognizable. It's what sets you apart from the version of you that used to say yes out of fear, guilt, or habit. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll feel lighter, more in control, and more aligned with your purpose. You'll realize that saying no isn't a loss, it's a gain, a step toward a life that's yours, not someone else's. Chapter 6: Turn Pain into Purpose. Everyone carries pain, losses, disappointments, betrayals, regrets, failures. For many, this pain becomes a wall, a reason to stay stuck, to stop trying, to believe that something is permanently broken. It's the heartbreak that keeps you from trusting again, the failure that makes you doubt your abilities, the regret that convinces you it's too late to change. But pain doesn't have to be a prison. It can be a powerful catalyst for transformation if you choose to use it. Over these 3 weeks, turn your pain into purpose, transforming the weight of your past into fuel for your future. Start by acknowledging what hurts. Set aside time to write it down, not to dwell on it, but to face it head on. What's the pain you've been carrying? A failed relationship that left you questioning your worth? A missed opportunity that haunts you? A moment you let yourself or someone else down? Be honest, even if it's hard. Don't shy away from the rawness of it. Then ask yourself, what can this pain teach me? Maybe a betrayal taught you to value trust and set better boundaries. Maybe a failure showed you where you need to grow, what skills you need to develop, or what priorities you need to realign. Maybe a regret revealed what you truly want, even if you haven't pursued it yet. Whatever it is, don't let it sit idle. Use it to sharpen your focus, to clarify why you're fighting for a better life. Each day, take one action that channels your pain into progress. If you're grieving a loss, dedicate an hour to a skill that honors what you've been through: writing, creating, learning something new. If you're angry at past mistakes, use that energy to get up earlier, work harder, or tackle a task you've been avoiding. If you're carrying regret, take one step toward a goal you've put off, no matter how small. Pain gives your actions weight. It makes your efforts mean something deeper. It's not about ignoring what happened or pretending it doesn't hurt. It's about deciding that your pain won't define you. It will drive you to become someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who refuses to stay stuck. Over these 3 weeks, reflect on how this shift changes you. Each evening, write down one action you took that turned pain into purpose. How did it feel to move forward instead of staying stuck? Did it give you a sense of control, of power, of clarity? Did it remind you that you're still here, still capable, still fighting? These reflections help you see the transformation unfolding, even when it's subtle. By the end of this period, you'll see that your pain hasn't disappeared. It never fully does, but it's become part of your strength. It's no longer a barrier. It's a reason to keep going, to build a life that's bigger than what hurt you. This process isn't about erasing your past or pretending you're unbreakable. It's about using what you've been through to fuel what you're building. The most powerful people aren't the ones who've had it easy. They're the ones who've turned heartbreak, loss, rejection, and failure into reasons to go harder. They've taken their pain and made it mean something, using it to create a life that's deeper, richer, and more purposeful. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll feel a new kind of resilience, a fire that burns brighter because it's fueled by purpose. You'll know that your pain doesn't own you. It's part of the story, but it's not the ending. You are. Chapter 7: Work in silence. Let results speak. Explaining your goals to others is a waste of energy. People may doubt you, misunderstand you, or try to keep you in the box they're comfortable with. They'll question your choices, offer unsolicited advice, or dismiss your ambitions because they don't align with their view of you. Some will do it out of concern, others out of jealousy, and some simply because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Stop seeking their approval. Stop defending your decisions. Stop trying to convince them you're on the right path. Instead, let your results do the talking. Over these 3 weeks, commit to working in silence, building something undeniable with your actions. Focus on consistent, quiet effort. Wake up an hour earlier to study, exercise, or plan your day. Cut out distractions like social media, mindless TV, or gossip that pull you off track. Don't post about your progress. Don't announce your plans. Don't seek validation from likes or comments. Just do the work. The world doesn't need your explanations. It needs your execution. When you show up every day, putting in the effort no one sees, you're building a foundation that no one can shake. You're proving to yourself that you don't need validation to keep going, that your commitment is stronger than your need for applause. Each day, set one small goal that moves you closer to the person you want to be. It could be completing a workout, reading a chapter, writing a page, or organizing your space. Write it down in the morning and check it off at night. Reflect on how it feels to follow through, to keep your word to yourself, to build something no one else can see yet. This quiet discipline builds confidence, not the kind that comes from external praise, but the kind that comes from knowing you're doing what you said you would, even when no one's watching. It's the kind of confidence that's earned, not given, and it's unshakable. Over these 3 weeks, track your progress in a journal or app. Each evening, write down what you accomplished, how it felt, and what you learned. Did you stay focused despite distractions? Did you push through resistance when you wanted to quit? Did you surprise yourself with your consistency? These reflections help you see the growth that's happening beneath the surface, even when it's not yet visible to others. By the end of this period, your results will start to speak for themselves. You'll walk differently, speak with more clarity, and carry a quiet confidence that comes from earned progress. Others will notice, not because you told them, but because your transformation is impossible to ignore. They'll see the change in your energy, your focus, your presence, and you won't need to explain it. Your actions will say everything that needs to be said. Chapter 8. Protect your time. Like it's sacred, time is your most precious resource, yet most people treat it like it's infinite. They let hours slip away on distractions, obligations, and habits that add no value to their lives. They scroll through their phones, say yes to every request, and fill their days with noise that drowns out their purpose. They can convince themselves they'll get serious later, next week, next month, next year, when life is less busy or the timing feels right. But the truth is, there's never a perfect time, and every moment you waste is a piece of your future you'll never get back. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, you must take back your time with ruthless intention, treating every hour like it's a sacred piece of your life, because it is. Start by getting brutally honest about where your time goes. For one full day, track every hour, every scroll, every conversation, every pause, every moment you spend on something that doesn't serve you. Write it down in a notebook or use an app to log it. Be specific. How long did you spend on social media? How much time went to answering emails that could have waited? How many minutes were lost to procrastination or indecision? You'll be shocked at how much of your life is leaking away to things you don't even remember doing. This exercise isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. Once you see where your time is going, you can't unsee it, and that's when the shift begins. Over these 3 weeks, build a schedule that reflects your priorities, not your distractions. Each Sunday, sit down for 20 minutes and plan your week with intention. Block out time for your goals, whether it's an hour for a side project, 30 minutes for exercise, 15 minutes for reflection, or 10 minutes to learn something new. Guard these blocks fiercely, as if they're appointments with your future self. If someone asks for your time, ask yourself, does this serve my purpose? Does it align with the person I'm becoming? If not, say no without guilt or apology. This isn't about being productive every second. It's about living with purpose, ensuring your time aligns with the life you want to build. Cut out the activities that drain you. If you spend hours on mindless TV, limit it to 1 episode and use the rest of the evening to read, create, or rest intentionally. If you're surrounded by people who waste your time with negativity or drama, set boundaries, politely but firmly. If social media is eating your mornings, move your phone to another room and start your day with a clear mind. These changes don't have to be drastic, but they must be deliberate. Each evening, reflect on how you spent your time. Write down what you accomplished, what distracted you, and what you'll do differently tomorrow. This practice keeps you accountable and helps you see progress that might otherwise feel invisible. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll feel a shift. Your days will feel fuller, not with busyness, but with meaning. You'll have more energy, more focus, more control, not because you have more time, but because you're using it to build the life you want. You'll notice that you're no longer reacting to the world's demands. You're creating your own path. Time doesn't wait, and neither should you. Take it back like your life depends on it, because it does. When you treat every hour as sacred, you start to see progress where you once saw chaos, and that progress becomes the foundation of a life that's yours. Chapter 9. Prove you can change now. The idea that change takes years is a myth that keeps people stuck, tethered to the belief that transformation is slow, painful, and out of reach. But change can happen fast, faster than you think, if you move with urgency, focus, and unrelenting commitment. You don't need more time, more resources, or more preparation. You don't need the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect circumstances. You need to stop waiting and start acting right now, today. These 3 weeks are your chance to prove to yourself that you have more power than you've been using, that you can shift everything by choosing differently, that you're not defined by your past, but by what you do next. Start today with one action that the old you would have avoided. If you've been hitting snooze every morning, set your alarm 30 minutes earlier and get up on time, using that extra half hour to work on a goal, reading, exercising, planning your day. If you've been delaying a project, start it now, even if it's just one small step, like writing the first sentence or researching the first idea. If you've been avoiding a difficult conversation, schedule it today, whether it's with a colleague, a friend, or yourself. Each morning, write down one action that aligns with the person you want to become and commit to doing it before the day ends. Don't wait for motivation. It won't come. Build discipline instead, the kind that doesn't care how you feel, only what you do. Track your progress over these 3 weeks in a journal or app. Each evening, write down what you did, how it felt, and what you learned. Did you push through resistance when you wanted to quit? Did you stay focused despite distractions? Did you surprise yourself with your consistency? These small victories build momentum, and momentum is addictive. It feels good to move, to act, to see yourself becoming someone new. Each day you follow through, you're proving to yourself that you're not stuck, that you're not a prisoner of your past habits or failures. You're showing yourself that you can change, not someday, but now. This isn't about speed for the sake of rushing. It's about urgency for the sake of living. You've spent enough days hoping things would change, waiting for inspiration, or telling yourself you'll get serious later. Now it's time to make change happen. Treat your goals like demands, not options. Stop treating your time like it's endless. You don't get another version of today, this hour, this moment. Use it. Make it count. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll feel a shift, not because your life is perfect, but because you've proven you're not stuck. You've shown yourself you can break old patterns, build new ones, and act with intention. That's the spark that changes everything, the momentum that carries you toward a life that's bigger, bolder, and yours. Chapter 10. Build a life that reflects your purpose. 3 weeks from now, you can look back and barely recognize the person you were, not because you've changed your appearance or your circumstances, but because you've changed your choices, your habits, your mindset. You've decided to stop settling for a life that feels small, unfulfilling, or out of alignment with who you are. You've broken the habits that held you back, faced the fears that kept you stuck, and rewired the thoughts that limited you. You've protected your time, turned pain into purpose, and worked in silence to let your results speak. You've proven to yourself that change is possible, not someday, but now, in this moment, through the actions you take every day. This transformation isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard, even when no one notices, even when the results aren't immediate. It's about building a life that feels true to who you are, not who you've been told to be or who you've settled for being. Over these 3 weeks, you've laid a foundation, a new way of thinking, acting, and living that's rooted in intention and purpose. You've learned to say no to what drains you and yes to what drives you. You've learned to move through fear, to speak to yourself with respect, to treat your time like it's sacred. These are the building blocks of a life that's yours, a life that reflects your deepest values and highest aspirations. But this is just the beginning. Transformation doesn't end after 3 weeks. It grows, evolves, and deepens with every choice you make. The habits you've built, the courage you've cultivated, the clarity you've gained, these are tools you'll carry forward into every area of your life. They'll shape how you approach challenges, how you pursue goals, how you show up in the world. You'll walk with a new kind of strength, one that comes from knowing you're in control of your future. You'll speak with more confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust yourself to find them. You'll live with more purpose, not because life is perfect, but because you're building something that matters. This journey is about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's about letting go of the version of you that was comfortable but unfulfilled, safe but stuck, familiar but small. It's about stepping into a life that's bigger, bolder, and more aligned with your deepest values. You don't need anyone's permission to do this. You don't need to wait for the right moment, the right resources, or the right circumstances. You just need to keep choosing every day to live with intention, to act with courage, to build with purpose. That's how you create a life that's yours, a life you're proud to live. By the end of these 3 weeks, you'll see the change, not just in your habits, your schedule, or your accomplishments, but in how you feel about yourself. You'll feel alive, focused, unstoppable. You'll know that you're not defined by your past, your pain, your doubts, or your mistakes. You're defined by what you do next, by the choices you make today, by the life you're building right now. That's how you become unrecognizable, not to impress others, but to honor yourself. That's how you create a life that's yours, a life that reflects your purpose, a life that feels like home. Chapter 11. Cultivate relentless discipline. Discipline is the backbone of transformation. It's not about motivation, which comes and goes like the weather, but about showing up consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who wish from those who build. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, you must cultivate a level of discipline that feels relentless, not harsh or punishing, but unwavering in its commitment to your goals. It's about making your priorities non-negotiable, treating your commitments to yourself as sacred, and refusing to let excuses derail your progress. Start by identifying one area of your life where lack of discipline has held you back. Maybe it's inconsistent effort toward a goal, like studying or exercising. Maybe it's letting distractions, like social media or Netflix, steal hours that could be spent building your future. Whatever it is, commit to one daily action that strengthens your discipline in this area. If you want to get fit, schedule a 20-minute workout every morning and do it, no matter how tired you are. If you're working on a project, set aside 30 minutes each evening to make progress, even if it's just one small step. The key is to act regardless of how you feel. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. To make this practical, create a simple system to hold yourself accountable. Each morning, write down your one non-negotiable action for the day. Put it somewhere visible, on your phone, a sticky note, or a journal. At the end of the day, check it off and reflect on how it felt to follow through. Did you have to fight resistance? Did you feel stronger for it? If you slipped, what got in the way, and how can you adjust tomorrow? This reflection builds self-awareness, helping you identify patterns and triggers that undermine your discipline. Over these 3 weeks, aim for consistency, not perfection. Even on days when you only do the bare minimum, you're reinforcing the habit of showing up. Discipline thrives in structure. Design your environment to support your commitment. If you're trying to eat healthier, clear your kitchen of junk food and stock it with nutritious options. If you're aiming to focus, turn off notifications and keep your phone out of reach during work hours. These small changes reduce the friction between you and your goals, making it easier to stay disciplined. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll notice a shift. Your actions will feel less like a struggle and more like a reflex. You'll start to trust yourself, knowing you can count on your own commitment. This is the power of relentless discipline. It turns your intentions into reality, one consistent choice at a time. Chapter 12. Embrace the power of small wins. Transformation doesn't always come from massive sweeping changes. Often it's the small, seemingly insignificant wins that build the momentum to become unrecognizable. A single workout won't make you an athlete, but 21 days of showing up will. One page of writing won't finish a book, but a daily habit of writing will get you closer than you've ever been. These small wins compound, creating a snowball effect that carries you toward your goals. Over these 3 weeks, embrace the power of small, consistent actions to reshape your life. Start by choosing one goal that matters to you, something specific, measurable, and achievable in 3 weeks. It could be reading 10 pages a day, walking 5,000 steps, or spending 15 minutes learning a new skill. Break it down into the smallest possible action that you can do every day without fail. The key is to make it so simple that you can't talk yourself out of it, even on your worst days. If your goal is to get stronger, start with 5 push-ups. If you want to learn a language, commit to 5 new words a day. These actions might feel trivial, but their power lies in their consistency. Track your small wins daily. Create a simple chart or use an app to mark each day you complete your action. Seeing the streak grow day after day builds a sense of accomplishment that fuels your motivation. Each evening, write down what you did and how it felt. Did you feel proud? Did you notice progress, even if it was small? Did you overcome resistance to get it done? This reflection reinforces the habit and reminds you that every step counts. If you miss a day, don't dwell on it. Just get back to it the next day. The goal is progress, not perfection. Small wins create a feedback loop. Each time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you're capable, that you're moving forward. This builds confidence, not just in your ability to achieve that specific goal, but in your ability to change any part of your life. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll look back and see how far these small actions have carried you. You'll feel stronger, more focused, and more in control. Not because you made one big leap, but because you took one small step every day. That's how you become unrecognizable, one win at a time. Chapter 13, Redefine Your Environment. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the spaces you inhabit, the tools you use, they all influence your choices, your habits, and your mindset. If your surroundings are cluttered, chaotic, or filled with distractions, they'll pull you away from your goals. If the people around you are negative or unsupportive, they'll drain your energy and undermine your progress. To transform in 3 weeks, you must redefine your environment to support the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. Start with your physical space. Look around your home, workspace, or wherever you spend the most time. Does it inspire you to focus, to create, to grow? Or is it a source of stress and distraction? Over these 3 weeks, make one change each day to align your environment with your goals. Clear your desk of clutter to create a focused workspace. Set up a corner for exercise with a yoga mat or weights. Remove junk food from your kitchen and replace it with healthy options. These changes don't need to be expensive or time-consuming, just intentional. A clean, organized space signals to your brain that you're serious about your transformation. Next, evaluate the people in your life. Who lifts you up, challenges you to grow, and supports your goals? Who drags you down, criticizes your efforts, or keeps you stuck in old patterns? You don't need to cut people out entirely, but you do need to set boundaries. Spend more time with those who inspire you and less with those who drain you. If you can't avoid negative influences, like a coworker or family member, limit their impact. Politely decline conversations that spiral into negativity. Surround yourself with people who reflect the qualities you want to embody: discipline, ambition, positivity. Their energy is contagious. Finally, consider your digital environment. Your phone, social media, and online habits can either support your goals or sabotage them. Over these 3 weeks, audit your digital life. Unfollow accounts that make you feel inadequate or distracted. Curate your feeds to include content that motivates and educates you. Set app limits to reduce mindless scrolling. Create a digital space that pulls you toward your goals, not away from them. By the end of 3 weeks, your environment, physical, social, and digital, will feel like an ally, not an obstacle. You'll notice how much easier it is to stay focused, motivated, and aligned with your purpose when your surroundings support your transformation. Chapter 14. Build a morning ritual that sets the tone. How you start your day shapes how you live it. A chaotic, rushed morning sets you up for stress and distraction, while an intentional, purposeful morning creates momentum for everything that follows. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, build a morning ritual that sets the tone for a focused, productive, and empowered day. This isn't about cramming your morning with tasks. It's about creating a routine that aligns your mind, body, and spirit with the person you're becoming. Start small and simple. Over these 3 weeks, design a morning ritual that takes 10 to 20 minutes and includes 3 elements: movement, mindfulness, and planning. For movement, do something to wake up your body: 5 minutes of stretching, a short walk, or a quick workout. For mindfulness, spend 5 minutes on an activity that centers you: meditation, deep breathing, or writing down 3 things you're grateful for. For planning, take 5 minutes to set your intentions for the day. Write down one goal, one priority, and one thing you're excited about. This ritual doesn't need to be elaborate. It needs to be consistent. Test and tweak your ritual over the 3 weeks. Start by waking up 15 minutes earlier than usual to make time for it. If mornings feel rushed, prep the night before, lay out workout clothes, set up your journal, or make a smoothie for breakfast. Track your ritual daily in a notebook or app. Note what worked, what didn't, and how it affected your day. Did you feel more focused? Did you handle challenges better? Did you start the day with a sense of purpose? If something in your ritual feels off, adjust it. Maybe you prefer journaling over meditation or a brisk walk over stretching. The goal is to find what energizes you and sets you up for success. Your morning ritual is a signal to yourself that you're in control. It's a daily commitment to prioritize your growth, to start the day on your terms, not the world's. By the end of 3 weeks, this ritual will feel like a natural part of your life. You'll notice a shift in how you approach your days: less reactive, more intentional. You'll feel grounded, focused, and ready to tackle whatever comes your way. This is how you build a foundation for transformation, one morning at a time. Chapter 15. Learn to rest, not quit. Transformation requires effort, but it also requires rest. Pushing yourself relentlessly without pause leads to burnout, frustration, and setbacks. Rest isn't quitting, it's recharging, giving your mind and body the space to recover and grow stronger. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, you must learn to rest intentionally, treating it as a vital part of your journey, not a sign of weakness. Start by redefining what rest means to you. It's not zoning out on your phone or binge watching shows. That's escapism, not restoration. True rest is active and intentional: a walk in nature, a quiet moment with a book, a nap that recharges your energy. Over these 3 weeks, schedule rest as deliberately as you schedule work. Each day, set aside at least 10 minutes for an activity that restores you. It could be a short meditation, a stretch session, or simply sitting in silence with no distractions. Treat this time as non-negotiable, just like your workouts or work tasks. Listen to your body and mind for signs you need rest. Are you feeling irritable, foggy, or unmotivated? These are signals to pause, not push harder. Over these 3 weeks, experiment with different forms of rest to find what works for you. Try a 20-minute power nap to boost energy, a journaling session to clear your mind, or a slow walk to reset your focus. Track your rest in a journal. Note what you did, how it felt, and how it affected your productivity or mood. Did you feel sharper after a nap? Did a quiet moment help you solve a problem? This reflection helps you see rest as a tool for growth, not a detour. Rest also means protecting your mental energy. Limit exposure to things that drain you: negative news, toxic conversations, or endless notifications. Set boundaries around your rest time, just as you do with your work time. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll notice that intentional rest makes you stronger, not weaker. You'll have more energy, more clarity, and more resilience to keep pushing toward your goals. You'll realize that rest isn't the opposite of progress. It's the fuel that makes progress possible. Chapter 16. Practice gratitude to shift your perspective. Your perspective shapes your reality. If you focus on what's wrong, what's missing, or what's hard, life feels heavy and progress feels out of reach. But if you practice gratitude, you train your mind to see opportunities, possibilities, and strengths, even in tough moments. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, make gratitude a daily habit that shifts perspective from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to appreciation. Start with a simple gratitude practice. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or the fact that you woke up today with a chance to try again. Be specific and focus on the feeling behind each one. For example, instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my job," write, "I'm grateful for the moment my coworker thanked me for my help. It made me feel valued." This specificity makes gratitude more real and impactful. Over these 3 weeks, deepen your practice by reflecting on challenges. Each day, find one difficult moment or setback and ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I be grateful for it?" Maybe a missed deadline taught you to plan better. Maybe a conflict showed you how to communicate more clearly. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything's fine. It means finding the lessons and growth within it. Write down your reflections in a journal, noting how gratitude changes your perspective. Did it make a tough day feel lighter? Did it help you see a problem as an opportunity? Gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about rewiring your brain to focus on what's possible. It builds resilience, helping you bounce back from setbacks with a clearer mind. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll notice a shift in how you see the world. Challenges won't feel as overwhelming, and small moments of joy will feel richer. You'll carry a sense of abundance that makes you feel stronger, more optimistic, and more aligned with your purpose. This is how gratitude transforms you, not by changing your circumstances, but by changing how you see them. Chapter 17, Commit to Lifelong Learning. The person you're becoming is someone who never stops growing. Lifelong learning isn't just about acquiring new skills, it's about staying curious, adaptable, and open to new possibilities. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, commit to learning something new every day, no matter how small. This habit keeps your mind sharp, your perspective fresh, and your confidence growing as you expand your capabilities. Start by choosing one skill or topic you want to explore. It could be related to your goals, like learning coding for a career shift, or studying nutrition for better health, or something purely for curiosity, like a new language or history. Dedicate 15 minutes each day to learning. Use free resources like online articles, YouTube tutorials, or podcasts, or invest in a book or course if it fits your budget. The key is to make it manageable. 15 minutes is enough to make progress without overwhelming you. Track your learning in a journal. Each day, write down what you learned, how you applied it, and how it felt. Did a new concept spark an idea? Did a skill make you feel more capable? If you hit a roadblock, note what was hard and how you'll approach it tomorrow. This reflection reinforces your learning and builds a sense of accomplishment. Over these 3 weeks, experiment with different methods. Watch a video one day, read an article the next, or try a hands-on task. Find what keeps you engaged and makes learning feel alive. Learning isn't just about facts or skills, it's about building a growth mindset. Each time you learn something new, you're reminding yourself that you're not fixed, not limited, not done growing. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll feel a shift in how you see yourself. You'll be more curious, more confident, and more open to possibilities. You'll realize that the person you're becoming is someone who never stops evolving, and that's a powerful foundation for a life of purpose and growth. Chapter 18, Strengthen Your Body, Strengthen Your Mind. Your body and mind are deeply connected. When you neglect your physical health, your mental clarity, energy, and resilience suffer. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, commit to strengthening your body as a way to strengthen your mind. You don't need to become a fitness guru or overhaul your lifestyle. Just take consistent, intentional steps to move, nourish, and care for your body. Start with movement. Choose one form of exercise you enjoy, or at least tolerate, and commit to doing it 5 days a week for 20 minutes. It could be walking, yoga, weightlifting, or dancing in your living room. The goal is consistency, not intensity. If you're new to exercise, start with something simple like a 10-minute walk or 5 minutes of stretching. If you're already active, add a new challenge like increasing your reps or trying a new workout. Schedule it at the same time each day to build a habit, and track it in a journal or app noting how it feels physically and mentally. Next, focus on nourishment. You don't need a strict diet, just one change that supports your health. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, adding a serving of vegetables to each meal, or cutting out sugary drinks. Choose something sustainable that makes you feel good. Track what you eat for one day each week to stay mindful and note how your energy and mood shift with better nutrition. Finally, prioritize sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours a night and create a bedtime routine to wind down. Turn off screens 30 minutes before bed, read, or do a quick meditation. Track your sleep quality in your journal, noting how it affects your focus and energy. Over these 3 weeks, you'll notice that taking care of your body makes you feel sharper, stronger, and more capable. Your mind will feel clearer, your mood more stable, and your confidence higher. This is how you build a foundation for transformation, by treating your body as a partner in your journey, not an afterthought. Chapter 19. Connect with your why. Transformation is hard, and without a clear sense of purpose, it's easy to lose momentum. Your why is the deeper reason behind your desire to change, the driving force that keeps you going when things get tough. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, connect with your why and let it guide your actions, giving every effort meaning and direction. Start by asking yourself, why do I want to transform? What's at stake if I stay the same? Your why might be personal, to feel confident, to live longer for your family, to prove to yourself you're capable. It might be professional, to earn a promotion, to start a business, to leave a legacy. Write it down in a sentence or two and keep it somewhere visible, your phone, your desk, your journal. Revisit it daily to remind yourself what you're fighting for. Over these 3 weeks, align your actions with your why. Each morning ask, what can I do today that moves me closer to my purpose? If your why is to feel confident, take one action that builds self-esteem, like speaking up or trying something new. If it's to live longer for your family, prioritize a healthy meal or a workout. Track these actions in your journal, noting how they connect to your why and how they make you feel. Did they give you a sense of purpose? Did they make the hard moments worth it? Your why is your anchor. When you're tired, discouraged, or tempted to quit, it's what pulls you back. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll feel a deeper connection to your purpose. Your actions will feel less like tasks and more like steps toward a life that matters. You'll carry a sense of clarity and drive that makes you feel unstoppable because you know exactly why you're doing this, and it's worth it. Chapter 20. Practice self-compassion. Transformation is a journey of growth, but it's also a journey of mistakes, setbacks, and moments when you fall short. Without self-compassion, these moments can derail you, feeding self-doubt and making you feel like giving up. To become unrecognizable in 3 weeks, practice self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and patience you'd offer a close friend. Start by noticing how you respond to failure. When you miss a workout, skip a task, or fall back into an old habit, what do you say to yourself? If it's harsh, I'm such a loser, I'll never get this right, pause and reframe it. Instead, say, I slipped today, but I'm still learning. This isn't about excusing mistakes. It's about acknowledging them without letting them define you. Each day, write down one moment where you were hard on yourself and reframe it with compassion. How did it feel to be kinder? Did it help you get back on track? Over these 3 weeks, make self-compassion a daily practice. When you face a setback, take a moment to breathe and ask, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Then say it to yourself. If you're struggling, give yourself permission to rest or adjust your goals without guilt. Track these moments in your journal, noting how self-compassion affects your resilience. Did it help you recover faster? Did it make you feel stronger? Self-compassion isn't weakness, it's strength. It's what keeps you moving forward instead of getting stuck in shame. By the end of 3 weeks, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more resilient, not because you're perfect, but because you're learning to be your own ally. You'll handle setbacks with grace, knowing they're part of the process, not the end of it. This is how you build a foundation for lasting change, by treating yourself with the kindness and respect you deserve. Chapter 21. Celebrate your transformation. As you reach the end of these 3 weeks, take a moment to celebrate how far you've come. Transformation isn't just about reaching a finish line. It's about recognizing the progress you've made, the habits you've built, the fears you've faced, and the person you're becoming. To become unrecognizable, you must acknowledge your growth, not to inflate your ego, but to honor your effort and fuel your momentum. Start by reflecting on your journey. Look back at your journal entries from the past 3 weeks. What habits did you break? What fears did you face? What small wins did you stack? Write down 3 things you're proud of, no matter how small they seem. Maybe you got up early every day, said no to a draining commitment, or learned a new skill. These are victories, and they matter. Celebrate them in a way that feels meaningful. Treat yourself to a favorite meal, take a long walk, or share your progress with someone you trust. Next, set a vision for the future. What's the next step in your transformation? How will you build on what you've learned? Write down one goal for the next 3 weeks and 3 actions to get started. This keeps your momentum going and reminds you that transformation is a lifelong journey, not a one-time event. Track your celebration and vision in your journal, noting how it feels to honor your progress and look forward with purpose. By celebrating your transformation, you're not just looking back, you're setting the stage for what's next. You'll feel a sense of pride, not because you're done, but because you've started. You'll carry a new kind of confidence, one that comes from knowing you can change, grow, and build a life that's yours. This is how you become unrecognizable, not to impress others, but to live a life that's true to who you are and who you're becoming.